let me start. I think we are going, and it is very difficult. We are going into a little bit into an unknown because the financial system. But the basic is that it is around how you keep and you transfer money in general. But then there are lots of facets in there which are influenced quite a lot by, in the past, by society, by changes in the economy, by political changes. This all had influences. But today also, a very big factor comes from technology. And there was also the factor is, how do we get that everybody has access to it? Because there are still large regions in the world where people have little access to financial services. And I think it should be quite inclusive for everybody.
Okay. Well, you have in your final chapter, your outlook chapter, you talk about sort of 4 visions for finance. You talk about repositioning, maturity, globalization, and sustainability. So how would you say, are these mutually exclusive or could they overlap? What decisions, I know the big question I'm asking you is a very fundamental question. Which way do you actually think it's most likely to go, and what are some other ways it might go if that turns out not to be right?
Should I?
Yes,
this one, yeah.
Yeah, please.
So I think let me briefly explain what we mean by that repositioning. Yeah. So some people in these roundtables said, of course, a central bank will always be a central bank, right? Well, we can take this for given, but we can also say, does it always have to be a central bank around in, maybe not in 2030, but maybe in 2040? Is that still true? Because we have so many technological developments, especially if you look into decentralized finance and digital assets, where you could also think of a world that could theoretically exist without central banks. So if you think of the unbundling of money for the 4 essential functions of money as a store of value, a medium of exchange, then you can see in some parts of the world that Bitcoin, for example, provides certain functions better than fiat currencies do that are issued by central banks. El Salvador is an example, or others. So you really have to think about it in a different way, because the technology enables to provide services in a fundamentally different way than we can think of it. So the question is, repositioning within the financial system means then also how the incumbent actors and these new evolving ones will position in this emerging world. I think that's an important point here. So there might be not one path for the future, if you take that example, but there might be different ones depending on the country that you live in. So I think that's a very important outcome. Also, if you talk about globalization, we've also seen that regulation takes different paths in different countries. Aligning regulations and policy making across different jurisdictions has proven to be very difficult, I would say. So it's not very simple to align that, especially given the current geopolitical discussions that we have. So I think that is very important to understand, and that was a very important outcome. So different pathways depending on how you look at it.